Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Our Voice 360, Our Perspectives, Our Ways. I'm one half of the hosting crew here. I'm Chad Bumgarner, and I have with me my main man, Pete Hunt.
What's good, family?
Hey, Pete, with that, let's go ahead and get into it, man.
As always, our show is brought to you by CDB Consulting. Great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?
And also, ladies and gentlemen, if there's something you want to hear us, a particular topic you want to hear us talk about or elaborate on, and also if you want to give us, I guess, your opinion on what we can do to make things better for the broadcast for you guys, please do not hesitate to contact us and let us know. Our email address is ourvoice360 at gmail.com. That's ourvoice360 at gmail.com. And also, guys, if you're catching us on YouTube, please smash that subscribe button and the
Yes.
notification button. So when we have that new heat, you will be the first to hear it and know about it. So you can talk about it at the next water cooler session. So please do that. Our
Yeah.
goal by the end of this year is to get to 1,000 subscribers. So
Right.
please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend so we can move on up the ladder, man, and bring these messages and topics to the masses because we feel like, we're bringing information that we as a community need to hear and know about
Right.
so that we can prepare ourselves accordingly. All right, the two heaters for today, man. We're talking about the Morgan State incident, the
Mm.
shooting that happened up there. Yeah, it was kind of sad, but
Sad.
thank God
Yeah.
that there were no fatalities. So that's a blessing. And then also we're going to talk about the Prime effect. What Prime is doing up there in Boulder, and how this will how will this play out for black coaches in the future as far as D1 schools or big schools in general getting an opportunity to coach on that level. Is Prime knocking down the doors to pave the way, or is it going to take a while? Or how is the landscape going to look now that Prime is up there and you know
Hmm.
starting what we hope to be a very successful dynasty up there.
Right.
So again, Pete, let's go ahead. Those are two heaters. Let's go into Morgan State. So Morgan
Sure.
State, recently just had a shooting scare on their campus several
Hmm.
days ago. They were in the middle of a type of coronation when this was going on. As a matter of fact, reading up on this, they were about to conclude the coronation when the shooting broke out. One of the students were
Hmm.
had reported saying, and he said that he was wondering why people were running, and then they heard the gunshots. So, of course, that caused chaos, and then that led to Morgan State eventually shutting down, or excuse me, having a lockdown, while
Right.
the police, I won't say raided the campus, but came onto the campus and started
Right.
investigating and
Hmm.
researching all the buildings to make sure there was no active shooter around. I think shortly after midnight, the lockdown was called off and students were allowed to leave and go
Right.
back. But again, Pete, this is tragic, man, because let's not forget this was a year or two ago where, there were death threats to various HBCUs. I remember
Exactly.
vividly my daughter calling me from Alabama A&M about a year or so ago. Same
Wow.
situation had happened, and they had a
Hmm.
lockdown on campus while they had the authorities had to do their due diligence and find out what was going on and
Hmm.
who made the call. And it was one of those extreme right people who didn't like black people or people of
Right.
color,
Hmm.
and wanted to make a threat to scare people and threaten their lives. I'm glad that person was I think eventually caught.
Hmm.
But this Morgan State incident was triggered that thought, and I can just imagine how parents were feeling when this was going
Exactly.
down, especially
Oh,
if you don't
sure.
live in that area. Like if you're
Right.
living in
Right.
another state or several states
Right.
over, and you
Hmm.
can't like just get to your kid, it's like, oh my
Exactly.
God, you blowing their phone up, and they're
Hmm.
probably freaked out, and everything. You're like, I cannot sleep until I know my baby, is okay.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That had to be, had to be traumatic. But I'm gonna let you jump in.
Hmm.
I don't want to take over the.
Oh, no, no. It's very sad, actually, Chad, that in 2023 we're still having to deal with gun violence.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
will it ever go away? Of course, we're
No.
not naive to think that it'll ever go away,
Right.
because as long as the United States as long as we have more guns than we have people, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be
Right.
an issue. But in this case, it's really sad because these are HBCU universities that this is happening to.
Correct.
Universities we hold near and dear to our hearts as,
That
as
is
being
true.
historically black colleges and universities. And Morgan State, unfortunately, had a shooting last year during homecoming. It wasn't the same type, but it was an off-campus at party somewhere,
Right.
and they had a shooting. But in this case, this was at the end of the homecoming king and queen's coronation.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was leaving or about to leave, and the shots rang out. And like you said, Chad, fortunately, no one was injured in this
Yes.
situation. But it's still sad to see these situations still going on in 2023, and there's no stopping in sight, because what earlier this year at the University of North Carolina,
Yeah, I was
we
just
had
about to. Yeah.
we had a situation
It was
of
actually they had two within
yeah, they had,
several
yeah,
months of each other, if I'm not mistaken.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is not prevalent just to HBCUs, but also PWIs.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a situation that has to get under control. There has to be some type of sensible gun laws that must be enacted, because this is it's been out of hand, but it's really getting out of hand. And I think that I read yesterday before we're recording, that it's been over 550 mass shootings in the United States already. I mean, alone this year,
Mm-hmm.
over 550 mass shootings. That's unreal.
And I think we're
That,
the
that
only country that has that magnitude of mass shooting. Other
yes,
countries
yes,
don't have that issue, and I'm trying to understand for the life of me why we have that issue.
because we have more guns than we have people. That says it all right there. And it's funny to me how, especially the Republican leaning people,
Mm-hmm.
they always bring up Chicago and Detroit, but statistics shows there's more white mass shootings in white rural areas than it is in major cities. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my thing
So
is this:
so
how do the guns get there? The
exactly.
people the people in these rough neighborhoods
Hmm.
can't mass create guns.
Right. Right.
They can't mass create dope. And I don't want to get off tangent here, but
Hmm.
what I'm
Hmm.
saying is you're what they're bringing to the table are people who are living in dire conditions and have
Hmm.
very few resources to do
Right.
anything, much less get
Right.
a decent paying job to take care of their
Hmm.
families. But you
Hmm.
want to blame them for all the
Right.
negativity, but you don't want to look at the source. You look at the
Exactly.
outcome, but you don't want to look
Hmm.
at the source. How the
Exactly right,
guns
sir.
get there?
Hmm.
You've heard you've heard several kids. I don't care if it's middle school, high school, college,
Hmm.
and the sad thing is sometimes even elementary school.
Right.
It's easier to get a gun on the street than it is to get a driver's license, I guess, or whatever.
Hmm.
Because,
Yes.
like you said, there are more guns out there than people, so the access to these guns is scary. And then
Very
if
scary.
the guns get into the hands of people who have ill intent, regardless of their race,
Hmm.
color, or creed, period,
Hmm.
that's still
Hmm.
dangerous. Period.
Exactly.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean? And I don't remember, but I think it was talked about in the legislature about background checks, guns
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
psychological evaluations or something to that effect before you can,
Hmm.
get a gun. And um, you're right. The every time this is brought up in the legislature, whether it's Senate or the
Hmm.
House,
Hmm.
the Republican leaning party and people always want to paint the narrative that people are trying to take their guns away.
Right.
And that's not what that's not what
That's
we're
not. That's
doing.
not. That's not. It's. I
But
mean,
they
you
hmm
can have responsible gun laws, and
right.
nobody's trying to take your gun.
hmm
Nobody's trying to change the Second Amendment.
Right.
None of that is happening. We want responsible gun laws.
That's it.
And that's just what it boils down to. And then again, especially with this past week happening to Morgan State, it just further lets us know as a people that we have to be on our P's and Q's, because we never know. With as loose as the guns are today,
hmm
we never know. You always have to have your head on a swivel, and that's sad. You can't even go to your college event without the fear of being shot. That's
True.
uncalled for. It's uncalled for and it's unacceptable.
Agreed.
And I mean, when is it going to stop? When are our congressmen and congresswomen at some point get to the point where enough is enough? I, I tell people all the time when it happened in when the first mass shooting at the elementary school. I can't remember the name of the city. What was the city? Several
Uh,
12. Uh,
Something rock, wasn't it?
it wasn't Columbine. It was
No, no,
I
no,
can't
no.
remember. But where the elementary students
Yes.
got killed. And
Yes.
I said then when they didn't do anything then when white children were
Mm-hmm.
murdered
Right.
and they didn't do anything,
Mm-hmm.
they were never going to do anything.
Yep.
And then it was just conspiracy theories and this, that, and the third. At that point, that was the tipping point for responsible gun laws. When
Mm-hmm.
they didn't protect those children and they just looked at those children as numbers,
Right.
I thought to myself, wow, we are too far gone and we may never be able to get back. Because when white children are not being protected,
Then you know it's a
you,
problem.
you know it's a problem. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You know it's a problem.
Sandy Hook.
So, Sandy Hook, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sandy Hook. Yeah, when that happened at Sandy Hook, I was like, and they were doing bending over backwards saying, no, it's not because of the guns and this, that, and the third. I was like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
why? Yeah, this is too far gone and it's too far to come back now. Yeah. But at some point, hopefully, that these politicians get it in their brain that enough is enough. How many more people have to die before we get responsible gun laws?
Well, it goes back to me. It goes back further than the legislature. It goes back to
Yeah.
the people of this country. If you
Hmm.
see the person that's representing your city, your state, your region, whatever,
Right.
and you see how they're voting on these laws,
Hmm.
and it doesn't align with what you feel, why are they still in office?
Exactly.
Because if they're still in office, then you're okay with how they're voting. So you can't sit here and cry and get mad and upset when these
Hmm.
people kids are dying. And my thing is,
Hmm.
why does it have to take your kid to die for you to
Boy,
then wake up and be
that's
like, okay, we got
big.
to do something?
That's big. That is big right there.
And that's what
That
it
is a
is.
big statement.
None of the senators, none of the House, none of their kids are involved in anything like that. So it
Hmm.
doesn't touch them personally. It's
Hmm.
that's them. We'll be
Exactly.
okay.
Right.
We just got to do, and then they'll go back and look at gun laws and they'll pass another law, but it's not the law that
Hmm.
we need. It should be
Right.
very difficult to get a firearm.
Extremely.
It should. You should really want to. You should really want to deter people from going to that extent. Or if you're going
Hmm.
to allow them, they should really do like if you're going to work for the government, you
Hmm.
have to be investigated. I
Of
know this for a
course.
fact. You have to be
Hmm.
investigated.
Hmm.
There is a 10+ year background check on you,
Hmm.
on your
Hmm.
finances, on your
Yeah.
family, on your friends, on your work history, everything, before you can get a job working for any part of the government.
Right.
So why is it easier to get a gun than it is to get a barber's license or to be a police officer?
Wow. I,
I don't understand this country
it, it's
when it
it,
comes to these gun laws. I don't get it.
because again, when guns are worshipped more than people,
Hmm.
when you have more guns per capita than you have people,
Hmm.
that lets you know what's more important, especially to this country. That guns are so prevalent that a mass shooting, Chad, it doesn't even make front page news. We don't. It's been over 550 mass shootings, and we've probably heard this year of maybe 5, 10 at the most
10 at the most, yeah.
that
National
made
news.
national news.
Correct. Correct.
Oh, that's made so that further lets you know the issues in the with gun culture in this country. That even mass shootings don't make national news. Wow.
And
It's
is that
it's it's
because they're trying to normalize it, which should
oh,
never
it's
be the
been
case?
normalized. It's been normalized. It's been normalized. But it's just when it really affects, places of higher education or lower education, whether it's preschool or elementary or middle school, high school, and now college, it's gone too far. I mean, it's bad as it is, but when our college campuses, our elementary schools, our middle schools, our high schools, our pre-Ks, our daycares are not safe,
Bro,
we
let me
really
let
have
me let, let me one up you. When they are making backpacks that
Chad, come
are
on, man.
bulletproof
Right,
for
right,
your kids,
right.
when you have to go to school and your backpack can only be clear,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
when
sir.
you go to school and you have to walk through metal detectors,
It's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. But no, but it's a certain sect of people that don't see an issue with that.
because it
We'll
doesn't
we'll we'll,
touch them
we'll put one.
personally.
Yeah, we'll put one door in the school. For real, that's what we doing.
Oh no, not
We'll
only
just
that, not only that, they passed a
wow.
law where teachers can be armed.
Exactly.
That
What
is
are we
the dumbest thing. So
what are we doing?
now we get, and I don't want to go off. Never mind. But yeah, we they're passing a law where teachers can carry firearms to protect themselves. That's a
So
whole
so
nother can of worms.
yeah, so when the police come in and somebody's holding a gun, they don't know who's the teacher and who's the bad guy.
And you know
So
the, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
but it's just it's I feel bad for those young people at Morgan State that they had to cancel their homecoming. They canceled classes, then they had
Yes,
to cancel their homecoming, which is another issue because so much monies
has
come
been
through
spent.
homecoming. That can come through homecoming for these towns that these HBCUs are in. And if you cancel homecoming, you
That's a
not
huge
only
part of
the
your budget
yeah
for the
yeah yeah
school, and then like you're saying, the
exactly
area.
the area itself, and then on
Exhibit.
top of that, the networking that these young people get to have with the old heads, as we would say,
Mm-hmm.
when they come
Mm-hmm.
back for homecoming, the networking that's being done is lost.
That's right.
So Morgan State this weekend has lost so much
That's
over
true.
some needless violence.
Yeah.
And the shooters are still at large. We
Right. They
still
have
don't
not
know.
found
Yeah,
the they yeah. They don't know if it's one person or several. They have no idea.
they have no idea. So it's just a sad, not only for the Morgan State community, but it's a sad day for HBCUs across this country
Period.
because
Mm-hmm.
it's not this is not the first, and it won't be the last. It
Unfortunately.
won't be the last. Unfortunately, it won't be the last. So I just excuse me, I just pray for those young people at Morgan State and their families, and again, Chad, like you said, luckily no one was fatally injured, and everybody that well, I think it was five individuals that were shot, and I think
Mm-hmm.
they're going to make a full
Full
recovery.
recovery.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but it's just sad. It's just a sad day for not only Morgan State, but for HBCUs across the country.
Yeah. So if this is your first time hearing about this, man,
Mhm.
go check it out on the news. Go read about it. If you know somebody that
Yeah,
goes there, check in with them, make sure they're okay. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have grief counselors out there because that is
yeah, right,
a emotional
exactly.
situation to be a part of.
Mhm.
Nobody
Right.
goes away to school. The last thing on your mind is,
Getting
I
shot.
might need to worry about getting shot. Yeah, right. Like
Right.
while you're at
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, it's really sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad. I can't remember the rapper who put that lyric out. He was like, we can't raise babies. We're too busy raising soldiers.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
and that line right there just I can't remember who said it, but that
Mhm.
line just stuck out. I didn't hear anything else he said after that song.
Mm,
For the rest of
mm,
that song. I didn't,
mhm,
because that line was like, dog, and it just sent me there. Because I'm thinking, I have kids of my own. Just like self, and I'm just like,
mhm.
you know, it's not fair that we have to have these talks with our kids.
Right.
It's not
Right.
fair. We are the only
Mhm.
race of people that truly have to have this talk with our
The
kids.
talk. Yeah. The talk.
The talk, yeah,
That in our community, that's what it's called. The
the
talk.
talk. And that
Mm-hmm.
and the talk includes a lot of topics
Mm-hmm.
about your
Yep.
welfare and your safety.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm like you said, I'm just glad those five who were injured were not fatally injured. And
Right.
I'm hoping that the parents, relatives, or whoever were able to get in contact and make sure that they're okay. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, I don't know what the school can do because
I mean, there's not a lot you can
it's
do.
not it's not a lot you can do. It's just really
Mm-hmm.
not. But just check on your students, bring in grief counselors, maybe
Yeah.
take counsel classes for a day or two so kids can wrap their minds around what just
Mm-hmm.
happened, and how do you deal
Exactly.
with it going
Mm-hmm.
forward. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So but I have full faith that Morgan State, their administration and president will do the right things for the
Mm-hmm.
interest of their students and the
Right.
parents or guardians of the students. So yeah, really praying about that situation and gun violence in general, man. It's crazy over here in the
It's out of
United States.
control.
It
It's out of control.
I don't understand why we can't take a page out of other countries' books,
Mhm.
but I don't know. Maybe our situation is way more complex than theirs. I don't know, but it's
No,
just
it's really not. Chad, I said it earlier. When your country has more guns than it has people,
them people. Yeah.
I mean that's just what it is. You're gonna have issues and you're gonna have problems. And then you have a mindset of certain people saying they're coming to take our guns and yada. Come on, man, stop. Yeah, so
But see, that's the thing. It's like you preaching that fear
hmm
and lies
hmm
instead of getting to
hmm
the root of the situation and be like,
right.
look, y'all know we're not trying to take you. I don't know why y'all keep saying that because they
hmm
want people to live in fear. I don't
Exactly.
know why, but they want
Exactly
people to
right.
live in fear.
hmm Yep.
All right, so uh, let's go to the next topic then, Pete. Let's talk about the prime effect. Oh man. Yo, I just pulled up a stat here. It says
hmm
the financial ramifications of Prime's hire have been enormous on the town Boulder, with an
hmm
with an estimated game day economic impact. Check, P, you won't believe this. $17 million.
Wow. Wow.
Boulder Chamber of Commerce President and CEO John Tayer,
hmm
Tayer. That's what he told CBS Colorado's Jasmine Arenas.
Mm. I don't know, Chad. I really don't know, and we've discussed this before, and
We have.
we're bringing it to the people.
Right.
I don't know about Prime's real effect on college coaching, black college coaches in particular, because he is a unicorn.
He is.
He is a one of one, and the non-traditional way that he's doing his thing, and the way he's coaching and using a transfer portal and things of that sort. His grand personality, I should say, it eclipses everything, and everybody can't do that, especially black coaches. He can do that because his reputation precedes him. His gigantic sense of self precedes him.
But
His arrogance in a good way precedes him.
it's not arrogance.
So
It's confidence. And like he said, if my confidence impedes on your insecurities, that's not my fault.
well, I'm not saying and like I said, his arrogance in a good way.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying his arrogance is negative because we've talked about he's earned everything. He can be braggadocious because he's the best defensive back to ever live. He can brag about having a gold jacket. He can do those type of things. Every black coach can't do that. So again, I don't really think his effect on ads and chancellors and presidents of universities is going. What he does is not going to affect other schools, PWIs, into hiring other black coaches. To them, outside of Boulder, he may be frowned upon in most situations.
He
But
is,
because
Pete, but go ahead.
oh no, go ahead, Chad. Go ahead.
He's frowned upon because of how he's going about doing things, right? he doesn't go around asking for this coverage from the media, if you will. But the media will be more than happy to tell you people want to know what he's doing and why he's doing it more so than any other coach.
Chad, I'm gonna have to push back on that. No, he
Okay.
wants to. No, he invited all of this. Don't get it twisted. No, Dion invited all of this, and it's not a bad thing. He invited all of this because that's who he is. That's his personality. He wants the cameras to be there.
Hmm.
He's asking he asked because guess what? He's trying to build a program. And what
Of
better
course.
way? And what better way than to get the focus on me? Get the focus on me so I can get these young people in, bring in my son, bring in Travis Hunter and all of these other recruits, which is fine. I applaud him for what he's doing. I'm not saying taking anything away from Dion or the way he's doing things because that's the way he's doing them. But again, every coach, especially every black coach, they don't have that. They don't have that gravitas that Dion has. Dion brought a lot of gravitas to Colorado. And plus, Colorado was desperate. They needed a splash.
Yeah,
Do
big
you
time.
not actually,
That AD did, yeah.
do you not really actually think they would prefer a traditional white head coach in Colorado? Come on, let's talk. Let's be real.
And
Let's
that
be
might be the case, but yet and
exactly.
still,
Uh-huh.
they took a gamble on Dion. They could have gone traditional. They had every opportunity. Like you said,
Yeah.
they needed a splash. There's plenty
There you go.
of great white coaches out there that could have come in to do the job.
Sure,
But they
sure,
chose Dion
but they chose Dion. Why? They
because
chose Dion.
he's a winner. Look at his track record. He's been
Okay.
winning since middle school, high school,
Okay.
college. The
Okay.
man has a track record. It's not like he came in out of the pros and retired for 5 or 10 years and say, hey, I want to coach. And bam, here I am. The dude has earned his stripes. And I feel like he is paving or presenting a blueprint for these black college coaches. Now, you're right. Most of them are not going to have the gravitas. Most of them are not going to have the gold jacket. Most of them are not going to be a GOAT.
None of them are. There's no most. None of them are.
Okay.
So again, to me, and I'm just like I said, I'm just speaking for me. He's a unicorn. He's one of one. There are 14 black coaches in Division I football out of 300 and I'm sorry, 133, 130, excuse me, 133 D1 programs. There are 14 black head coaches. He's the only one that can do what he's doing. He's the only one that can do what he's doing. Every other black coach, trust and believe, are going the traditional head coaching route.
But now but they've got to understand that doesn't work for them. It doesn't. And my thing is, Prime is a unicorn. I agree with you, Pete. I do.
I'm just
I do. I agree. But the way he's using media, the way he's using the portal, he's giving people other options. Look, you don't have to be traditional in this anymore. You have to understand the kids that we're recruiting.
Right.
These kids' eyeballs is on social media. Their influence is social. I got to meet them where they are. You know what I'm saying?
And I agree with you totally when it comes to Dion.
Right.
Because again, we keep going back to he is one of one.
He's the only, Pete, but
now if there's another black college coach,
Eddie George,
that can do Eddie George, we'll see. Eddie George at Tennessee State, we'll see. Hopefully he'll get if he wants a D1 opportunity, that he wins enough at Tennessee State that he can get a D1 opportunity. But in most cases, your black head coach has to be over and above traditional.
And we know that's not going to work. We've seen this. I mean, Pete, what you're saying is true, But
Mhm.
before Dion came on the scene,
Mhm.
everything that we were doing, just like our white counterparts, was still not working. And so what I'm
Mhm.
saying now is because Dion has done what he done, has
Mhm.
done what he has done, and
Okay.
again, I'm agreeing, he is a unicorn.
Okay.
He brings a certain flair, gravitas, and
Mhm.
weight that nobody
Mhm.
else will carry.
Nobody else gonna carry. Yep.
But do you think that he's able to at least get other ADs around the country to take a second look at these black coaches who are coaching and have coached for quite a while? Because let's be
Mhm.
frank, Dion made a comment that nobody really wanted to hear, but I'm glad he made it.
Mhm.
I'm glad he was real. He said, "What makes you uncomfortable is a black man sitting up here talking his talk and walking his walk,
Mhm.
and a head coach of a team who's 75% black, and that troubles you."
Mhm. Mhm. But
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 I'm
but
an AD. If I'm an AD, my job is to bring the right personnel in to make this program profitable,
okay.
because a profitable program will bring in more
Mhm.
students and
Mhm.
better
Well,
athletes,
sure.
right?
Sure. I
So
agree. I agree with all of that. But Shane, let me stop right there. But why can Dion say that and get no blowback? Why can Dion say that and get no blowback?
because Dion, just like when because Dion has backed up everything he has said he was going to do. When he was at Jackson, he
Mhm.
listed out what he said he was going to do,
Mhm.
and he did it
Okay.
for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When he was at Trinity,
Mhm.
the high school, he did what he set out to do.
I,
In
I
Boulder,
mhm.
he is doing thus far
Mhm.
what he said he set out to do,
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
right?
And you are exactly right. You are exactly
He don't
right.
don't set me up like that. Don't
Oh,
set me up like that.
you are exactly right on every point that you said.
But
But there's a but. He can say that and he
right.
can get away with that with
Hmm.
no blowback because of who he is.
Hmm.
Because he's Deion Sanders. He can say that and get away with it.
He always
And
gets blowback, Pete.
and no. We're talking about that particular
Okay, that particular
statement
statement.
that you said. That
Okay.
particular statement that he said. He's the only one can say that and not get blowback.
Do you know the reason why though?
Yeah, because he's Dion. Because he's
No,
Dion.
because he's bringing in money to
It's
Boulder. That's why the white
it's
folks ain't said nothing. I just told you how much money he brought
and
in off of one
it,
game.
exactly because of why. Because he is Dion. He's a unicorn. He's a man. He's a man on an island.
Hmm.
Do
True.
you think if James Franklin from Penn State says what Deion Sanders says, do you not think he's in the president's office 10 minutes after his interview is over? Do you think the black head coach at Maryland says those exact words that Deion says? And he's a fantastic coach. Do you think he's not in the president's office 10 minutes after the interview or 10 minutes after the press conference? The reason,
I think John Thompson could have said and got away with it.
but we're talking about John Thompson, who was again a unicorn, larger than life personality, who really didn't care what
Right.
the establishment thought.
Hmm.
But again, your most of your black head coaches don't have that type of leeway. John Thompson coached at Georgetown forever. I mean, to the point
True.
where people actually thought Georgetown was an HBCU.
I was one of them. I promise you. I did for the longest. I thought Georgetown was
And
HBCU.
a lot of people thought growing up, included, I was included. I thought Georgetown was the HBCU. It was so black.
Hmm. Hmm.
And- but John Thompson had so much control of that university and of that program, he could get away with saying that. A lot of these black coaches don't have that.
Okay. I see
I
what you're
mean,
saying.
even with James Franklin, James Franklin's been a winner at Penn State, but he wouldn't dare at Pennsylvania State University. He would not dare say what Dion said. Because guess what? Yeah, you winning some football game, but at the end of the day, you still,
Mm.
you know the rest.
What Jay-Z say?
You know the rest.
Yeah.
So again, it takes a special individual to do what Dion is doing and be as brash and as confident and as because again, did he win at Jackson State? Yes, he did. He won at a high clip at Jackson State. But he proceeds, he's bigger than Colorado. That's why he knows that he's bigger than Colorado. Now, if he goes back to Florida State, he'll still be braggadocious Dion, but it'll be on a little slight lower. It'll be the volume be turned down just a little bit. He can do this in Boulder because he's bigger than Boulder. He can do that because he's bigger than Colorado. Again, we talked about it off air. Colorado hasn't been anything since what's the Cordell Stewart?
Cordell Stewart, yeah. They haven't been relevant since then, yeah.
That was 94. 90, that was early mid 90s. That's the last time that Colorado's been anything. So again, when you have somebody of Dion's stature and Dion's ilk, he's larger than life. He's a unicorn. He can get away with that. But I still don't think that he pushes the needle as far as deans and ADs and chancellors of these D1 universities to hire black coaches. I mean, there's only 14. There's only 14. And if one of those four, well, now it's probably 13 since Mel Daniels has been fired up at Michigan State. So black coaches have to be on their P's and Q's. They have to not only be winners, they have to be exemplary in the community, on the campus. They can't make a mistake because again, they won't get a second chance. They won't get a second chance in most cases. Most black head coaches are going to do it the traditional route because of what? This may be my only shot.
I can't afford to rock the boat.
I cannot afford to rock the boat. Dion can do that because Dion's a multimillionaire who has irons in 30. Right. Yeah, he has irons in 30 fires. So he has income coming in from this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. These black head coaches that get these jobs at these PWIs, these D1 schools, this may be their only shot. And if they mess this up, I'm not going to get another head coaching job. That's just real. That's just what it is. Black coaches don't get retreads. We're not retreaded. We can't get fired in Indiana and then end up
and have a buddy get us hired on it
and then end up
somewhere
being
else.
a head coach at Ole Miss. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to get another D1 job. They may get another coaching job as a coordinator.
Right. Defense offense coordinator, yeah.
Exactly.
Or position coach, yeah.
Position coach. But hardly when's the last black head coach that got fired that you know of that got fired? Didn't leave, didn't retire, lost their job and got another job. Head coaching job.
Not right away. If ever.
If ever.
Yeah.
So again, those guys, they have to, the black coaches that's coaching on the D1 level right now, those 13, 14 guys, guess what? Outside of Dion are going to be as over traditional. Because again, this might be their only shot. This might be their last head coach, only head coaching job at a Power 5 school or a D1 school. Yeah, they can go back to an HBCU. And the HBCU would love them to be there. But again, if I've tasted Division I football or basketball or baseball or whatever the sport is as a coach, guess what? I want to be a Division I coach.
It's hard to drive a Mercedes and then go back to a Hyundai.
And not saying that HBCUs are Hyundais.
Correct. Please. Thank you. I'm glad you said that because I didn't want to get blow back on that. Right.
Not saying that. But again, your goal as a coach, believe me, I've been a coach a long time. Your goal as a coach is to get to the highest level.
Highest level. That's correct.
To get to the highest level. So if James Franklin at Penn State, that's his highest level, unless he goes to the NFL. Guess what James Franklin not gonna do? He's not gonna fumble this bag.
Right.
He's not gonna do anything outside of what Penn State tells him to do.
Allows him to do.
It
Correct.
allows
Yeah,
him to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
He's gonna stay on the straight and narrow. He's not gonna do what Dion does because again, Dion is bigger than that university. Dion is
Hmm.
bigger than that town.
Yeah.
Do you think these black coaches are gonna have Master P on the sideline? Future? You think they're gonna bring the future to the sideline?
Ross, Lil Baby,
Yeah, Rick Ross,
The
little
Rock,
doing concerts at
oh Weezy, yeah,
they can't do that.
yeah. I was
But
tripping. Weezy did a concert in Colorado. I was like, what?
yeah, they can't do that because again, they don't have that gravitas.
Hmm.
And again, as much as I love Dion and the things that he's doing at Colorado, to me personally, and I can only speak for me, what he's doing is not going to drive any university to hire a black coach. Because again, you in his case, he's 101. And please believe me, Dion loves him some Dion.
Yeah.
So I mean, he loves the spotlight. He loves putting his young people in the spotlight, as he should as a coach.
Right,
But
because that's what you want for your kids. You want eyeballs on your kids so people can see their potential. It gives them an opportunity and the ability to go to the next level. Now, all they have to do is is perform and understand how to deal with that pressure. Because he can teach both. He can teach you how to perform, and he can teach you how to deal with the pressure. He can teach you how to deal with the money. He can teach you everything you need to know to go to the next level. It's up to you as that individual to listen, take these jewels, you know what I'm saying, and use them the right way. And for the most part, you should be good.
Right. But again, as for
Pete, I'm really I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My apologies. I really feel like, and I'm hopeful that this will get ADs to start looking at black coaches. I know Dion is a unicorn. I know. And you're right. Nobody's going to replace anything like that. And I'm not looking for a replacement. But what I am saying is I'm hopeful that these ADs will start to give these coaches, why is Lovie Smith not coaching?
What did I just say?
Why is Lovie Smith not coaching?
What did I say about 3, 4, 5 minutes ago? We are not retreads. We don't get to do it again as black coaches. We don't get to do it again. We have one shot.
He has been a great coach. He has coached at the highest level. He knows what it takes. Why would you not want that experience?
Hold on. The Bears fired Lovie Smith after a playoff season. When they went 10-6 and won a playoff game, they fired him after they lost. Huh? So that further lets you know, as black coaches, we are not really valued for what we can bring to the table. We can be coordinators, we can be DB coaches, we can be D-line coaches.
We just can't be the man.
We can't be the man. I mean, speaking of one black coach, for Mike Tomlin to have his job.
Now you talk about a unicorn? He's been there for 15 years, and has never had a losing season.
But guess what? When he had a 500 season, they went 8-8. Guess what? It's time to fire him. It's time to get him about the paint. After 2 Super Bowls. And I mean, what has he done but win at your program? He's done nothing but win at your program. But as soon as you go 500, you want to get him. You want to fire him. Again, Mike Tomlin may be the only one. If for some reason Pittsburgh gets rid of him, if they have a bad season this year, another bad season, and they say, okay, Tom, Mike, we need to hear another voice. Our players need to. He may be the only one that could possibly get another head coaching job in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's the only one. Yeah. He's the only one because guess what? He has the hardware and he can say, look, if they have a losing season, I had one losing season in 15 years or 13 years or however long he's been in Pittsburgh. And I got Super Bowl ring.
That's a great marketing piece. He shouldn't have to say anything else after that.
He's the only one, but he possibly could not get hired.
But here's the problem, though. You got a lot of his white counterparts who've had multiple back-to-back-to-back losing seasons, and they're still there.
What, Dad? We have one shot as
Right.
as black coaches.
Mm-hmm.
We have one shot.
True.
Oh, that's it.
Right.
So again, we have to. We can't be Dion.
Right.
We have to be status quo. We have to be
We
traditional.
still have to operate within the guidelines of the
Within the
tradition.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
We, if not, even more so in the guidelines, because guess what? If we mess up this bag, there's not another head coaching job coming. You can be like I said, you can be a coordinator somewhere. You can be a DB coach. You can
All
be
day.
all day long, but you won't be another. You won't get another head coaching gig, and that's sad.
Did you hear the Jimmy the Greek video that resurfaced from years ago about head coach?
Oh, of course. That's the mindset.
Yeah.
That is the mindset right there. What Jimmy the Greek said was he spoke truth, and he had to deal with it on the back end. But Jimmy the Greek spoke truth. They can play. We can use them to be players all day long. They can be coordinators all day long. The only thing the white man has is head coaching jobs. He spoke the truth.
Yeah.
Why do you think they keep getting it? They can. Nick Saban can be a failure at be a mediocre coach at
Alabama.
Michigan State. No, at Michigan State.
Oh, Michigan. Okay, yeah.
And then turn around and get the LSU job. Do really good things at LSU, but on the back end, really wasn't that good. But turn around and turn that into the Alabama job. Are you kidding me? There's no black coach that's going to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not one. And that's sad. It's sad that.
And we don't even get enough time to build a program. The average black coach gets 1, maybe 2 years. You got to turn around 2 years. That's not enough time to do anything. Especially if you got a terrible team.
Yeah, Matt. Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers. And I know we probably running over time, but I want to give this one example.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Rule was awful in Carolina. Awful. Absolutely terrible at the Carolina Panthers. Steve Wilkes come in, black head coach, coordinator. He takes over. They get more morale and almost make the playoffs behind Steve Wilkes. They didn't even think about hiring Steve Wilkes. Even though the players went to management and was like, this is the coach we want. We want Coach Wilkes to be our head coach. X, Y, Z. We talking leaders of the team. We want to play for Coach Wilkes. You think the Panthers ownership listens to any of those players? No, we got to go out here and hire Frank Reich. That's what we gonna do. Even though Steve Wilkes has been on that staff for X amount of years, it left and came back, and pillar in the community, this, that, and the third, local guy. Care nothing about that. That's a black man. We are not. He was a placeholder until we can find the next white coach we want. Didn't even think about Steve Wilkes, even though he almost led them to the playoffs. And guess what Matt Rule did? Matt Rule left, got another high-paying job in college, making $8-9 million in college, and the Panthers are still paying him $8 million. So he's getting $8 million from the Panthers and $8 million from the school he's at and the university that he's at now. You can be a failure on the highest level, Matt Rule, and turn that around and get the same amount of money, if not more, on the college level. You think a black coach can do that, Chad? Be a failure in the NFL.
I don't even have to think on that one. You're right. Nah,
bro, I'm trying to tell you,
they won't.
That dude's up in Colorado is one of one.
Yeah,
he's one of one. Black coaches can't do what he do because they don't have the gravitas, they don't have the gold jacket, they don't have the talk game, and they may have the talk game, but they can't use it because guess what? If I step out of line, guess what? I'm going to lose this job. And I will probably never, as a black coach,
get another one like this again.
NCAA Division I head coaching job again.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, tell me what black coach has gotten fired and got another D1 opportunity
I can't tell
as
you.
as a head coach.
I can't tell you. I don't think it's
What
happened.
what NFL black NFL coach has done awful and gotten fired, whether they did good or bad, because we've had black coaches that's done well and got fired.
That's true.
What
And your
what
boy
black
Brian Flores blew the whistle because the manager was trying to get him to blow games so they could get better draft picks. But and I'm glad I read that article because it was like, you know, no, I'm not going to do that because you make my record bad. So then when I go get a
Mhm.
head coaching job, I can't get one because I got a losing, coaching record.
There it
But
is.
they ain't thinking about him. They thinking
Mm-mm.
about the team.
They're right.
We just want better draft picks. So I'm gonna pay you
Mhm.
X amount to lose this game, this game, and
Mhm.
this game. He's like, nah, no, no.
Which further lets you know
Mm.
that they don't feel the same about black coaches and white head coaches, because do you think they would have went to a white head coach and done that?
Nah.
They don't value Brian Flores. And please believe me, I am excited and I'm super happy for every black head coach on every level of football or basketball or baseball, whatever you coach.
Mm-hmm.
I want the best for you. But again, let's be real. Let's be frank. Let's be honest. We got one shot as black head coaches. One. Male or female. One. You fumble that bag, you're going to be assistant somewhere. You're going to be a coordinator somewhere.
Yeah, because you got to take your hat off and your glasses off when you talk to adults. That's what my mama taught me.
Yeah, that's no. Yeah, the Cinderella story over, and see again. That's a culmination of being a black head coach, because those coaches would have never said that to
Nick
Nick
Saban.
Saban.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
They would have never said that to Kirby Smart in Georgia. They would have
Jimbo.
they wouldn't have never said that to Jimbo Fisher ever. Mm-mm. Would never happen. But guess what? As great as Dion is, what Jay-Z say, we gonna leave it at that.
Mm.
What
That's
Jay-Z
true.
say, he said he got a song about it.
That's true. And
I'm
all that
tired.
love he getting up there in Colorado, it's artificial love. They just loving
Right.
him because of what he's doing. Now I guarantee you, if a scandal happens with him, just as quick as they ran to love him, they're gonna turn their back and he gonna be out the door.
I'm telling you, we as black head coaches, we are. Uh, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to be a black head coach, especially on any level. Because again, the deck is stacked against you.
And you're
The
heavily
deck is stacked.
scrutinized. Yeah.
The deck is stacked against you. Now, it's some areas where the black head coach, NBA, NCAA, basketball. Now, basketball, that's totally different. Black coaches in basketball team, sometimes they'll get another opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to coach somewhere else. But football, oh man, nah, that's not gonna happen. Mm-mm. You get your look. We gave you a shot. Now go back down there and be that D coordinator for Central Florida. That's what you do. Go be that defensive back coach at Ole Miss. That's what you do.
Yep.
But that's just the reality of the Dion situation. It's great for Dion.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely good, and I applaud that brother. I'm rooting for that brother, and I hope he is as successful as he possibly can be.
Mm-hmm.
But what he's doing and what he's done, he's the only one that can
You
do.
don't think it won't move
As a
the
black
needle?
head coach, he's not moving the needle. Mm-mm. Because again, if you really be honest, if you really, 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 really be honest about it, Colorado would have preferred your traditional white head coach.
Of course. Of course. And like I said,
But
they had the opportunity to do so. They did.
but
Yeah.
but Dion hotter than fish grease. Let's get Dion up here.
And they know
We know
Dion is a golden egg. Wherever he goes,
exactly.
money goes.
There you go. He's gonna bring us notoriety. He's gonna bring us eyeballs. He's gonna bring us money just for the simple fact that he's Dion.
True.
Do you think the president of Colorado want Wheezy doing concerts at his university. Chad, let's be real.
No, you're right. You're right. The only reason why it's allowed is because of the financial impact that Dion is bringing to Boulder. As long as that money's coming in, it's just like winning. When you winning, all the problems are not that bad.
It's the best. It's the best deodorant. Winning's the best deodorant.
Yeah.
Do you think they want Future on
Ross?
the sideline? Rick Ross, Master P,
little baby,
little Migos.
Right.
Do you really think that? Man,
Snoop.
Man, come on. Let's be real. Let's be real. Huh? Do they really want that on their campus? No. But guess what? That 17 million means something.
It sure does.
Those packed home games mean something.
Bruh.
Those primetime games mean something. Those 12 o'clock games mean something.
Those network contracts mean something.
Bruh. And that's what Dion has given them in this moment in time. Ain't nobody talking about Colorado football.
And he got leverage on them when he agreed to take the job, even though they couldn't afford to pay him. He already had a leg up on them. Y'all can't. I'm gonna take it anyway, even though y'all can't get all the money together right now. I'm gonna take it anyway. Dion, remember when he first took the job? They said they didn't have the money, but they was getting it. They didn't have all
Colorado said that?
Yeah, when he first signed with them, they didn't have all the money to give him just yet.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have all of his salary yet.
Okay. But even in that, he's a needle mover for Colorado.
Indeed.
That's who he's a needle mover for, the University of Colorado. And he's going to be good
he is Boulder right now.
Yeah. Exactly. People are I was on Twitter yesterday. People are just all over Twitter talking about where the game at, where the Colorado game at.
Bro, I was searching myself. I'm like, look, I have not seen another college team as exciting in the past couple of years as this team. This team is exciting to watch. Whether how good or how bad, they are exciting to watch. They are. They are exciting to watch.
And again, that's because of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not anything great Colorado has done. It's because of Dion.
Of course.
And he's brought that with him. Again, that's why I said he's one of one. He's the only black coach that can do that. He's the only one. Because first of all, his track record is really good. Mm-hmm. He's won everywhere he's been. That's first.
At every level.
Second of all, he's bigger than life.
True.
Third, Colorado was desperate.
Oh yeah. So
Colorado was they were really desperate. And they needed a splash hire.
And Cordell Stewart said that when he was on that show.
Whether Dion was successful or not, they were the talk of the town all summer. They the talk of the town now, whether they win or lose. They the talk of the town. Good, bad, or indifferent. They are the talk of the town.
And they're already talking about being in a bowl game. These kids are 4-2 right now. 4-2?
Yeah, 4-2.
4-2. Mm-hmm. And the pundits and all these people, analysts, are already talking about a bowl game because they're like, a lot of these bowl committees pick who they want in their bowl games. Mm-hmm. And because, like you said, Prime brings the revenue, he brings the eyeballs, he brings the attention, the flash. A lot of these not Pro Bowl, but a lot of these bowl committees are looking at Colorado like we want them in our bowl because they are going to bring eyeballs to the show.
If somehow the NCAA could finagle a way to get them in the bowl championship series.
Yeah.
If they could get them into that finagle a way, guess what? Guess where Colorado would be?
They're gonna get turned up again because now you're looking at a Cinderella story for real.
Yeah, you would be. They would be in the national championship, and they had no business being there.
Like who last year?
Yeah, TCU.
TCU. Thank you.
But TCU earned that. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? They got the doors blowed off, but they earned that. Colorado
they earned that butt whooping, huh?
Yeah, they did. They really did. But again, that guy's one of one, and I wish that I could say like I said, me personally, I could say it would move the needle, but it's not gonna move the needle one iota when it comes to these universities, these PWIs, the Power Five, Division I colleges hiring black coaches. It's not gonna move. Like I said, it moves the needle for Colorado. It's a great thing for Colorado, but I don't think it's going to move anything as far as the hiring of black coaches, because again, what he brings to a university,
Nobody else.
no other black coach can bring to that university.
Yeah.
He has a lot of things that he's bringing with him that's an advantage, and he can hold over colleges' heads.
True, because if you look at his coaching staff, you're about to have 2 Hall of Famers on the same coaching staff.
He's going to bring Warren Sapp next year.
That's what I'm saying. Him and Warren Sapp.
I mean, arguably top 5 D linemen of all time. Arguably top 5, no worse than top 10 D linemen of all time is going to be on that staff next year. Only Dion can do that.
Ain't nobody arguing with you. You said arguably, ain't nobody arguing. You're right. Now again, like you just said, what D lineman, what corner safety would not want to go play?
Exactly.
For 2 GOATs on the same coaching staff.
On the same coaching staff. I'm telling you.
I don't know what that offense is going to look like next year, but that defense, if it's not ranked number 1 or 2, there's a problem.
Yeah. And he's going to get guys that's going to come in from the portal. Mostly going to come in from the portal. Like I said, I don't know how he recruits or whatever the case may be.
Well, he already told you he has a bias for Florida boys.
Mm-hmm. So he's going to have both. Yeah, he's going to have a lot of guys come in from the portal that's going to want to play for him, and they should, because again, Chad, what school are you going to go to where you're going to have a Hall of Fame coach and possibly a Hall of Fame defensive line, maybe even defensive coordinator, or at worst your D-line coach in Warren Sapp? Yeah,
I mean, cannot lose.
I'm gone.
You cannot lose.
I'm gone. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he's in a great position right now. But again, about the topic we're talking about, he's great in Colorado, but I don't think he's going to move the needle at all for black coaches.
I hear what you're saying. I do, Pete, but I'm just hopeful.
Oh, I'm
you know what I'm saying? I'm just hopeful that ADs will just take another look. But we gotta we gotta move on, because we way behind. we stuck on this one for a minute.
I know, right?
I honestly didn't think we were gonna go this long, Pete, but we said some things that off air, but we said more on air. But props to Dion and his crew, man. Wishing nothing but the best.
For sure.
So we're gonna move on to the Black Inventor of the Week. His name is Mark Dean, Dean, born in March 2nd, 1957. Mark Dean is one of the top engineering minds at the International Business Machines, in other words, IBM Corporation. Okay. He made his first mark in the industry in the early 1980s when he and a colleague developed a system that allowed computers to communicate with printers and other devices. So every time you print something, you can thank Brother Dean for that.
Wow.
In all, Dean holds 20 patents and was honored as one of the 50 most important African Americans in technology by the California African American Museum in the year 2000. Dean wants to help increase awareness of the contributions of Black engineers to both the engineering industry and the African American community. Again, Mark Dean, he is the one that helped develop the system that allowed computers to communicate with printers. So when we out printing, whatever it is we're printing, we can thank a brother for making that happen for us. Mark E. Dean, yeah.
Trying to think of something
phrase?
It's on the tip of my. Man, our people are great, man. Man, come on, man. Are you kidding me? The way that our people are looked upon by some people as we're not this and we're not that and we're not capable of doing this and not capable of doing that. This country would not function without us. This world would not function without us. That's what perturbs me more than anything. And I'm so glad, Chad, that you bring up inventors that nobody has ever heard of before.
Yeah.
That you know, oh, really? They had a role in this, or they had a role in that. Yeah, we pretty much have a role in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we do as a people, as black
And
folks.
the sad
Yeah.
thing about it is, Pete, we have more inventors and patents, but because blacks at that time were not able to patent things, their
Hmm.
their owners had the right to patent. We'll
Right.
never know how many more things are actually ours.
Exactly. Exactly. Phew. Man,
You
I
know what I'm
be
saying? I
crazy.
got this documentary I need to send you. It'll probably be tomorrow sometime. But I was watching it late last night, and I'm
Hmm.
gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you because it's gonna answer a lot of your questions.
Hmm.
But yes, this is the Black Inventor of the Week, Mark E. Dean, Dean,
Wow.
computer engineer. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Book of the week. When I tell y'all Pete got a heavy one, Pete has got a heavy one this week. Go ahead, Pete. I ain't even, go ahead.
It's a little lighter than the past couple weeks books, and I do apologize. I do have the book, but I can't find it. It's somewhere. But Michael Eric Dyson's "Why I Love Black Women." Michael Eric Dyson's "Why I Love Black Women."
Mm-hmm.
It is a phenomenal book by Mr. Dyson. Uh, it's not as heavy as his normal books are, because you have to get a thesaurus out in most cases and ask yourself what this word means and what that word means. But in this one, he just basically gives props and love and shows love to the black woman, black women who influenced him in his life, in his life, from mother, aunties, black women in his career, even black women he's dated, married, or whatever the case may be. It's just a celebratory book of the black woman, and it's a great read. It's not that long, but he gives a lot of props to the black woman. Shows so much love to the black woman, and he also breaks down the stereotypes, the negative stereotypes of the black woman, who at this point we should be getting rid of, especially as black men.
Mm-hmm.
We should be getting rid of these stereotypes. Black women already have enough pressure on them as it is. But
True.
it's a great book. It's a great read. Any black man, any black woman, but especially black men, just take a gander at it. Please read it. Go. It was published in 2003, and it's just a really. I mean, you can find it at all your local, your bookstore, your Barnes and Nobles, yeah, anywhere you get books. They have it. But Why I Love Black Women by Michael Eric Dyson is this week's book of the week.
Mm. You heard it, folks. Why I Love Black Women, Michael Eric Dyson. Please go check that one out. I've heard about
Yep.
that one too,
Yeah.
a couple of times.
Very,
Yeah.
very good book. Very good
Yeah.
book.
So now moving on to the album, excuse me, the classic album of the week. We me and Pete had a difference off air, and I had to. It's on me. I had to get clarity because I picked one, but I that's why I always have a backup. So the backup, Pete and I are thoroughly in agreement with. So
Well,
the
it's
class.
not. Let's be transparent, Chad. Now go ahead and give the album that you were going to do originally,
All
so
right.
we can explain to the people.
All right. So see, I don't even have. Yeah. Okay. So the album of the week. All right. So the album of the week originally that I was going to
Hmm.
suggest is an album entitled "We Are," and it's by an artist named John Baptiste. Now, John Baptiste, I hope y'all can see that there. Yeah.
Hmm.
John Baptiste is the band director for the late night show Stephen Colbert.
Hmm.
Okay. And when this came out, um, I wanted to go get it because I heard one or two tracks off the album that he performed
Hmm.
on the show. And I thought it was a really, really great piece of work. Now, John
Good
Baptiste
album.
is from New Orleans, so you know you've got that New Orleans bounce, you've got that New
Hmm.
Orleans flavor, you got the big band, the brass band,
Right.
and all that good
Hmm.
stuff. You got the Southern drawl or twang from the New Orleans folks, and it's like eating something different. It's got a different flavor, but it was a great flavor. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was something
Mm-hmm.
that I wasn't accustomed to, but when I picked up the album, I'm like, never heard stuff like this before, but this is really, really good. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a couple of weeks ago, Pete and I talked about, you know how you know it's great music when you can just put it on play and you don't have to skip or go past
Right.
certain songs where you just
Mm-hmm.
hit play and just let that bad boy just go from beginning to end.
Right.
And to me, that's one of those albums because even though the it came out in 2022, I believe it was. For me, listening to the tracks on the song, on this album, they definitely take me somewhere. And Pete and I both
Right.
agree, you know, really good songs send you
Very
somewhere. They
good.
take you
Yeah.
somewhere. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The ones I liked was Adulthood featuring the
Mm-hmm.
Hot Eight brass band,
Mm-hmm.
and I really enjoyed Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And then on side A is Cry.
Yeah. Cry is, yeah.
Cry
Really
was
good. Yeah.
really
Mm-hmm.
that was it hit me like deep. That one touched me
Mm-hmm.
really.
Mm-hmm.
We Are, when you listen to the lyrics to We Are,
Right.
that's such an impactful and empowering song to me. And then finally,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Sing,
Yeah. Sings really
you
good too.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, Pete had a different feel to it, and I respect
No,
that. You
no,
know,
yeah,
that's what
I
makes
don't.
us.
Yeah, I don't think it was a different feel, Chad, because again, at the end of the day, it's a really good album. It's a
Yeah,
really
but
good album.
but like you
It,
said,
yeah,
it's in your eyes, it's not that great because if you never heard it again, you be all right.
yeah. I mean, it was a really good album, and like we were talking off air, we said this is classic, classic
Yes.
albums. And for me, a classic album is it can be 10 years from now, and
Hmm.
when I throw that thing on, it's gonna take me somewhere. It's gonna make me feel a certain type of way.
Hmm.
I'm gonna remember when I first heard it.
Hmm.
To me, those are classic albums. And then for me, also, it has to be some years. You know what I'm saying? For it to be classic, it has to be a
Hmm.
certain time frame to, what I'm saying, that takes place that we can come back to it. Now, if it was 2023, and if you feel it's a classic, cool. I mean, you know what I'm saying. But I think for what we're trying to do is, it's a time.
Music
It
that
has to
has
be something
stood
that
the test of time.
yes,
Yes, I got
that's
you.
what makes it. That's what makes it classic. It's stood the test of time.
And
And,
folks,
and
that's
like I
what we
said,
was talking about. I was like, I
yeah,
should have
yeah,
got more clarity with Pete
yeah,
when we started doing
yeah,
this, but
yeah. So again, I mean, this album it's a great album. It's a very very good album. But to me, this is not an album that I'm going to revisit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I listened to it 3 4 times when you told me about the album. I listened to it 3 4 times, and I'm okay. I'm cool with it. Very good album, but okay, I'm not going to listen to it again. But in your eyes, this is an album that you're gonna have on your playlist, which
and I
is
think
hey.
I think the difference is like because Pete,
Mhm,
you even said this off air when we talked about it.
mhm.
Jean Baptiste is a musician.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So if
yeah.
you guys are musicians,
Mhm.
you may like this a tad bit more. You
Right.
may like this a tad bit more.
Mhm,
But yeah, that was the one, the original one
mhm.
I had brought up to Pete or whatever. But then, like I
Right.
said, I had an ace in the hole, so I went back and I was like, "Yo, I got a banger for you." So my classic album of the week is "Lovers Rock" by Sade. I mean, excuse me, by Sade. Sade. Yeah, yeah. That's one of those you got to be in a certain environment with your best liquor
Oh Lord, that
and have your candle lit and just put that
what
bad boy on and just let it ride.
I, I need to understand. First
Yeah.
of all,
Hmm.
it ain't Sade, it's Sadie. Let's stop playing. It's Sadie. Let's stop
R.
playing.
Kelly told y'all it's Sadie.
All told you. But Lovers Rock
Yes, sir.
is man,
Hmm.
man. That's all I can say about that. That album it's something special.
The one that stands out to
It
me, the song is "Somebody Already Broke My Heart."
yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
sentimental fella, so that right there
yeah.
really,
And it's just that how from front to back,
yeah.
east to west, north to
Mm.
south. Like you said, Chad, that's one of those ones you just put on and let that thing, and it takes you somewhere that. and then her voice is
Yeah. Her
her
voice is so soothing and
just
so
so soothing and smooth, and just
like your best cognac.
bro. I've never drank before, so I don't know what cognac tastes like. So
Smooth.
I'm gonna take your word for it. But but yeah, it's just
Yeah, man.
just one of those albums that you know where you were when you first heard Love Is Right. You know where you were.
Believe that.
Yeah, and we know about Sade. We know about the band. We know about her. We know about all of it.
Did somebody say
So
Sweetback? Did somebody say Sweetback?
oh sweet, oh don't okay, don't do me like that, boy.
Did somebody say Sweetback?
I go sweet back now. Then come on now. But yeah, yeah, that's what we call a classic right there for
Yeah.
sure. For
Indeed.
sure.
Indeed. Whew, Sade, Lovers Rock. If y'all have not heard that, for some of you cats that may be a little younger, I would really suggest you take a gander. If you really love music, you know what I'm saying? You really should check out Sade. She only puts an album out every 10 years. That's the word. We don't know that to be true, but every 10 years she'll drop an album, and that
that's
bad
what
boy.
Between her and Maxwell, I don't know who takes longer to make a new album. Good gracious, man, drop some music. Come on.
Yeah, but when they drop it, it's like
yeah. When it drops, boy.
I don't know if y'all have ever had an album or music where you play it, as soon as you finish, you go back to the beginning, you play it again, like 2-3 times back to back to back. Yeah, she's one of those artists.
Yeah,
and they are very rare nowadays. Very rare nowadays.
Yeah.
So. All right, folks. We're gonna move on to Lovers Rock. Okay, let's focus. Bible verse of the week. Bible verse of the week. This is coming from Exodus. This is when the Israelites were leaving Egypt. Some of y'all, if you know your Bible. This is coming from Exodus chapter 15, verse 13. And it reads, "In your unfailing love, you will lead the people you have redeemed. In your strength, you will guide them to your holy dwelling."
Okay.
I don't know what else to tell you after that. I just need to let you, marinate. Usually I'd have something to say, to kind of bring that verse home or whatever. But this one right here, I'm just gonna let you sit on it.
Read it one more time.
I'm gonna let you sit on it. In your unfailing love, you will lead the people you have redeemed. In your strength, you will guide them to your holy dwelling.
There it is.
God's promise in this passage is a great reminder that what he began when he redeemed his people out of Egypt, he completed by bringing them into the promised land. So in his unfailing love to lead the people that he has redeemed, his strength is going to guide them to his holy dwelling. Come on now. Just sit on it. Sit on it. That's all I'm asking you to do. Just sit on it.
Yep.
Just sit on that. Pete, you got anything else, man? Because we went over today. Well, we had a great discussion.
Yeah, great discussion today. As always, man, first of all, love yourself. Second of all, love your people, man. Love the people that surround you, whether it's family members, whether it's friends, whether it's co-workers, whether it's acquaintances, neighbors, whatever the case may be, man. Love yourself first. Love your people. Tell them that you love them, man, that you care about them. And if you got beef with somebody, man, resolve that today. Resolve that today, because you never know if tomorrow is promised, and you never want to miss out on an opportunity to correct things that whether you did or somebody else did to you. You always want to be gracious and be in good standing with everybody, hopefully. So again, man, love yourself, love your people, and that's it for me, man.
The only beef you need to have is the beef that's in the oven or in the stove or whatever.
That's right.
That's the only beef you need to have.
That's it.
Because like the old folks say, time is winding up. Time is winding up, and it's not promised to anybody, like Pete said. So I'm not going to reiterate what he said. Y'all heard it the first time. But just make sure you do that. Find it in your hearts to do that. And I'm going to end this podcast, as I usually do, with the famous quote from Marcus Garvey. And it reads, Never forget that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden. Therefore, remove yourself as far as possible from ignorance and seek as far as possible to be intelligent.
There it is.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening and tuning in for another edition of Our Voice 360, Our Perspectives, Our Ways. Be blessed, be safe, and we're out.
Peace.